Once again, I got summoned from the dead to show the top 5 heroes in the mid lane that in my opinion are the best one to gain MMR. Now, unlike the safe lane, mid lane requires so much more skill, so many more brain cells, and so much more game understanding that's actually not that easy to play mid lane. But hopefully, with these heroes, you're going to be able to do way better than before. Let's go.
Up and down, side to side, like a roller coaster.
Now, before starting the video, I really want to say that none of these heroes are actually easy heroes. To be honest, there are not many heroes that are really easy to play in the mid lane. We're gonna name a couple of these heroes, but definitely if you want to play mid lane, you have to be slightly good at mechanics, game understanding, and overall map movements. So on number 5, we have 2 heroes. We have Puck and we have my really beloved Primal Beast. Yes, both of these heroes actually deserve this slot, mainly because 1, Puck, if you're playing on a free Puck game, you don't really have to be the best Puck player, as long as you don't really have disables like DK, Lion, Hoodwink, heroes that will naturally get to catch you and lock you down, you should have no problems to carry. Just make sure you're gonna start rotating, make sure you're gonna use Coil, usually in a hero that if you use Coil, he can't really jump. Let's say like you play against PA, you play against Void, you play against Antimates, and your items are really simple. You just get Power Threads, Wand, Bottle, maybe a Null Talisman, and then you go Witchblade, Dagger into Adapt. Adaptation means Sansenkaya, Octarine, or you can simply go for Parasma, Maelstrom, Aghanims, and overall go for the right kill build. Generally, I'm more fan of Sansenkaya into Octarine because I'm always getting caught, but but that's up to you. Primal Beast, it's really simple. This hero farms really fast, wins every lane, has an ultimate that pierces BKB, scales well with items. He naturally buys, right now, meta items like Shivas, like Eternal Shroud, so definitely level to give it a shot, and it's not really that hard to play Primal Beast, to be honest. All you need to do is play a couple of games, have an understanding of how Tremble works, how your Q works, how your ultimate works, and overall have an understanding if you're dying fast or not. Both Puck and Primal Beast definitely deserve to be in top 5. Number 4, what surprise, we have Pangolier. Yes, Pangolier is actually, even after the nerfs, extremely strong. It's really simple, his swashbuckle is really strong, it scales really strong with Diffusal Blade. It's actually unreal how an item is so broken for this hero, so definitely I would advise you to play Pangolier. Now, is Pangolier an easy hero? No, he's not. You need to actually play a little bit of Pangolier to actually get used to it. But once you play like 5-10 games, you will actually get to figure out, you'll be able to aim the Q, and you will actually have an understanding on how the role works, how you can actually make some tricks. There are actually some really good YouTube videos about the hero. I will not go into details. But definitely if you do some digging and if you play a little bit, you will actually not have that big of a time to start playing some decent Pangolier. Now I want to say something about Pangolier. The most important thing is like people don't prioritize survivability. So they just get Diffusal, Dagger, Aghanims, Basser, Octarine, but I'm a really big fan of actually getting Wind Waker. I think that there are a lot of counters out there, and since, as we said previously, Puck and Pango are in the meta, many heroes like, for example, Slardar, they start to buying Orchid, and we need to actually prepare ourselves for this moment, so you'll be able to escape. Also, Puck being in the meta, it's a big counter to Pango, so definitely having, first of all, Shard is a good counter, but after level 25, you're going to need Wind Waker. On number 3, that's going to be a little bit surprising, we have Keeper of the Light. Yes, Keeper of the Light is definitely into the meta. There are like 3 reasons for that. Number 1, he's a natural vessel carrier. So we said Primal Beast is in the meta. If you've seen this type of video, we're talking about the top 5 carries, you know there is like Lifestealer in the meta, and when Lifestealer is outside of rage, he's definitely able to die with a vessel. And overall, there are more heroes that are like high tank, especially in the offlane, like Timbersaws, Centaurs, and Vessel is a great item against them. Number 2, Keeper of the Light gets to buy Orchid. That's true. The build right now is Vessel into Boots of Travel into Orchid. So heroes like Puck, heroes like Pango, the natural heroes like Storm Spirit, Ember, Void Spirit, these heroes really have a hard time to play against Orchid. And you know what? You actually buy Vessel, you use ulti, you slow the enemy, you use Orchid, you use Vessel, and he pretty much dies. Number 3 that Kotl is so strong is that you flash farm and you can't really lose a laning stage. So Kotl is not really gonna punish anyone in the mid lane. So if you play versus something really greedy like Arc Warden, for example, you're going to have a really hard time later on in the game. But That means that if you're playing against a lane dominator, for example, a hero that wants to apply pressure, even something like a Huskar, you really don't care. You're gonna push the wave, stack your medium camp, and then farm it, and you're gonna be really happy. You're gonna get your items, and then once you get level 6, you're gonna start moving right and left and start chasing enemies and kill them. At the same time, you farm really fast, you farm stacks. I will not repeat myself. Kotal is there. If you're a Kotal player, definitely use him. I think that Kotal requires a little bit of skill, mainly because you need to get the hang out of the hero. Like, I think I have like 250 games on the hero as support, and I've played a little bit of mid lane, definitely feels that he's there. Probably way better than Pac and Pango, but he's not that famous. Number 2, I'm a Greek, so we can't really have a top 5 mid lane without having this hero. Of course, it's Zeus. Yes, the God of Olympus is here, definitely a no-brainer, no skill, and I think it's in the same category of Kotal that you can't really go wrong with him. The only difference is that you farm slightly less fast than Keeper of the Light, but at the same time you have this global presence, so you compensate with way more impact early on. Now, I'm having a lot of success with Zeus lately, and the build's still a little bit easy, Arcane Boots, Bottle, maybe a Null Talisman, and then you go Phylactery into Shard, into Manta Style, and then in reality you're just split pushing and you become really fat. Even if you don't plan to go Magical Zeus, you should still go for the Shard and for the Manta Style, as it will help you to push all the waves and farm really fast. After that, because lately I'm into the right-click type of build, I've seen a lot of guys going for Octarine, but my piece of advice, guys, you need BKB. After Phylactery, Shard, Manta, it's most likely that you're going to need BKB. I've seen people going for Parasma and more damage. You don't need more damage. You need to be able to actually right-click the enemies. As a result, after your BKB, you can go for anything that you want. For example, Manta Style into BKB, into Pike, or into Parasma, or into Bloodthorn, or into Moonshard. That's up to you. Just make sure that you will not be able to die. Similar to a sniper type of thing. So Zeus definitely deserves to be number 2, but if you were to ask me, I would probably go for number 1, but sadly, on number 1, we have Leshrac. What surprise, Leshrac, probably one of the hardest hero in my opinion to actually master. Leshrac is really hard, mainly because the line of living and dying is so thin and you constantly flirt with death. What does this mean? Leshrac is actually a decent hero. It was never broken, but similar to the top 5 list that we said with the number 1 being Lifestealer, the problem with Leshrac, or the benefit of Leshrac, is that all the meta items are suitable for Leshrac. For example, Shiva's meta item, really strong, Leshrac buys it. Bloodstone, meta item, Leshrac buys it. Eternal Shroud, meta item, Leshrac buys it. So we have this problem that everything that's meta and every item that is strong right now, Leshrac gets to buy it. So we have like this great place where Leshrac is about to die, and this is, I think, the hard part, that you're about to die, and you need to be really precise with how you're going to initiate, what spells you're gonna go in, and when you go in, I've seen Leshrac going in, and they're about to die, and then they're so confident that they're gonna heal back with Bloodstone, and at the same time, I've seen Leshracs that they think they're so strong, and then they're getting caught by its Slardar, then, he's hammering Leshrac to the head and cracks his head into 2 pieces, and then he just dies. Okay, so this is like, I think Leshrac is a harder hero than Zeus, for example, but he's so much more stronger, right? But definitely Leshrac is really simple, wins a lot of the laning stage, can come back, can push waves, farms, pushes Siege's tower in the mid lane. So important. If you leave the mid lane, for example, to gank, and you're playing against a Leshrac, you're gonna lose your tower within, you're gonna lose your tower within a single creep wave. So you have to be really cautious. So the problem with Leshrac is that every item that he buys is broken, and at the same time, he wins a laning stage, he flash farms, he takes stacks. It's a really safe pick to go. That's why, even like in my bracket, we get to see first pick Leshrac, and you can't really go wrong with that. Now, some honorable mentions, in my opinion, is Necrophos. Yeah, you know that I have a love with Necrophos, but I think the reason why Necrophos is so strong is because we get to see a lot of, at least in my bracket, a lot of Pangos, and lately I've seen a lot of Timbersaws and a lot of Tinies, and as a result, you need someone to match them. You need someone that's going to destroy them in the laning stage, and yeah, Necrophos is one of these heroes, but it's a little bit of a gamble. But, lately I've been playing Necrophos against a Bradmother, and I think I did decent in the laning stage, but at the same time, when I started dying, because, it's a Bradmother, then I got my items, and I was actually pretty brutal force in the late game, so definitely it's up there. Another addition that I want to mention is Slardar. Slardar is also a hero that needs to be mentioned. I think that after Thompson gave it into popularity a year ago, Now, due to his Aghanims are Dagger, Octarine, and Yules, he's definitely a really solid pick. And if you see like all the heroes, for example, that we mentioned, Slaughter can actually do pretty decent against him in the mid lane. If, for example, you play versus a pack, I don't think like a pack can match you. You can actually try to run him down. Primal Beast, I don't think you are going to lane at all against a Slaughter. Kotal, well, Kotal can kinda punish you later in the game because he gets to buy Orchid and he gets to buy Vessel. But in the lane still, as we said, Kotal cannot really get to punish. Now, Zeus and Leshrac might be a little bit challenging, but in the lower ranks, definitely these heroes, they play a little bit more scared. And at the higher brackets, well, they are going to be more interested in farming rather than shutting you down, so you can get away with that. But definitely Slaughter, I really don't want to go into more details, definitely deserves a spot. And lastly, well, that's a little bit more of position 3 nowadays, but I think Kunkka, due to his, again, Aghanim's Bloodstone being incredible stupid, definitely deserves to be up there. I think you can't really go wrong with Kunkka. Really solid pick, really solid hero. You can't really go wrong. You just buy double Bracer Phase, which Blade Mail Aghanims, and then you can just get to adapt, usually BKB Bloodstone Refresher. But I think Kunkka is just extremely nice pick. And you know, I don't play Kunkka nowadays, but I should. Let me know your thoughts about the hero. Generally, I think the mid lane is a lot of fun lately, just because there is a variety of heroes that you can just get to pick, and there's not something broken in the mid lane. This is a top 5, but definitely you can get away with more heroes. But share your thoughts. I'd like to hear more of you. Again, I'm gonna say that mid lane is way more challenging than playing position 1, and to play these heroes, you need to actually be slightly good with these heroes, like with the exception of Zeus, that, you know, it's not like the hardest hero early on. But definitely feel free to share your thoughts. GG, Raza, I'm gonna see you on the next video. Hey guys, real quick, if you did like this video, make sure you subscribe, like and comment, as it motivates us a lot to keep making these videos and these guides. And of course, make sure you check out our 6-month coaching program. It's almost guaranteed. That's gonna get you to the next metal, if not metals. The link is gonna be down in the descriptions. Make sure you click it and apply right now.